Alright. Welcome to SideboardMTG. My name's Eric, and it's time for Subscriber Sunday. We've got a couple really cool decks for you today. We've got an Elves deck, we've got a Dragons deck, and I was looking for a theme for the last one. It's an Izzet Favorable Winds deck, but it's got a bunch of pirates in it, so I went with pirates. But either way, we're going to have a lot of fun with these decks. I hope you enjoy. If you do, and you want to play some of these decks, jump over to manatraders. It's a rental service. You can play them, you can rent them, you don't have to actually buy the cards. When you're done with them, turn them back in and move on. Either way, we're going to get into our first deck here. Let's see if we can, bam, there we go. What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? You have a good weekend? I know you guys had, fun time Friday Night Magic, right? What's a pirate's favorite letter? R. Was that a Laffy Taffy joke? Was that what that was? A Laffy Taffy joke. Come on. Arr. Anyway, we've got let me get chat up here where I can see a little bit better. You guys. Nah, it's the sea. Oh, the sea. Okay, you got me. You got me. You got me. It's the sea. What's up, Philip Wamblocker? How you doing, sir? We've got a really cool Elves deck, and I was actually wanting to do like the new tribes, the zombies, the dragons, and it looks like I'm going to end up having to play more than just this game with Elves, and this looks like a really good spot to start. I mean, we start looking at, you know what, I bet I can pull this up here, right? Where's it for you? Where's it for you? Whoa, we don't want it to be that big. Bam. There we go. You guys can see that, right? Alright, Adventurer's Impulse. Adventurer's Impulse allows us to just get more cards. In a way, I actually think that we could probably just get away with the 3 copies of Shaper Sanctuary in the sideboard. Just throw them right here. But in those control games and things, they're not actually going to be targeting your stuff. So Adventurer's Impulse could be really good there. I actually just think that there's more games where Shaper's Sanctuary is better than this as far as getting you 1 card. However, this can get you the elf you need out of the next few cards. As we get to looking at this deck, we're going to see that there's a lot of draw in the sideboard. And that's pretty much the only thing that I'm kind of on the fence about here is, the draw packages. Which one do we put in the sideboard? Which ones do we bring in the main board? And here, let me, whoa, Lincoln, buddy. Easy, fella, easy. This one's by Madness the Mad. A lot of you guys know him in chat by Madness. And Madness, he's went with just putting his Adventurer's Impulse in the main board. Now, let's just go ahead and talk about that draw package. We can use Vanquisher's Banner, which everything's an elf. So, I mean, we're just going to be drawing more and more elves off of Vanquisher's Banner. Because of our elves giving us more mana, we're going to be able to get to the Vanquisher's Banner fairly quick. We're going to just have that extra mana. Now, Vanquisher's Banner is a really good card here. When it enters the battlefield, we just call the elves. It's going to be an anthem. It's going to give all of our elves, that +1/+1. We get this down against red deck. We're no longer worried about Goblin Chain Whirlers, things like that. And whenever we cast that creature spell of that type, we get to draw cards. So, just a 5-mana anthem that allows us to draw more cards. But moving into the sideboard, we've got 3 copies of Shaper's Sanctuary and 2 copies of Lifecrafter's Bestiary, along with another copy of Vanquisher's Banner. Now, that's a lot of draw. So, like, I'm actually wondering, like, where are those matchups where we actually, have enough room to take out, elves to actually fit this in. Now, Ronus being the only non-elf here, I think if we do have a matchup where we're actually taking out we're bringing in the other Vanquisher's Banner, I think we're actually going to end up taking out the Ronuses. But let's look at some of these elves here. We've got 4 copies of Land of War Elves, 4 copies of Narnum Renegade. Narnum Renegade, just, Revolt with Death Touch, so, I mean, it can be a 2/3 with Death Touch. Not bad. And then the new one here for me, and new but yet old. I mean, this elf has been in Standard since Kaladesh, or Aether Revolt here. And it's just when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Seems a little bit, okay. But on turn 2, being able to buff that Land of War Elf to make sure that it doesn't die to the turn 3 Goblin Chain Whirler could be the just the perfect amount of tempo we need to get through some of these matchups. So I'm actually excited to be running this, and it looks like a really good inclusion here. Of course, Thorn Lieutenant, anyone who's watching you know, any of the mono green decks right now, there's a couple copies of Thorn Lieutenant in. This card is just absolutely terrific as a 2/3. You know, you get Sylvan Ranger here on the early turns of the game, but then in the late turns when you have 6 or more lands on the battlefield, you could tap those 6 lands and actually give this +4/+4. Now that's a little bit bigger than you know, Sylvan. It was Sylvan Ranger, right? What was the 2/3 that if you had 6 more lands on the battlefield, it got +2/+2? So I mean, you have to actually spend your mana here, so it's not as good. Sylvan Advocate, was it that Sylvan Advocate? Yeah. So I mean, it's not quite as good as Sylvan Advocate, but in some situations, it's actually a little bit better. I really wish it would give it Trample, but it has another ability there. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you do get a 1/1 green elf. So you do get to, you know, a little bit of fodder there on the side, which is not bad. Now, this would be absolutely terrific if we had something like Elvish Archdruid or something where, you know, just sheer number of elves would actually matter. Thorn Lieutenant would actually go up in value a little bit in those decks. So I do like Thorn Lieutenant. Great 2-drop here. And it survives, you know, shocks and things like that, magma sprays. Now, Elvish Clancaller. This is like one of the best lords you can get to be drawing this late in the game. And that's it's a really good card here. You can spend 6 mana to just go get another one, put it on the battlefield, and give yourself another anthem there. And kind of when you get into the late game, that's about all you really want to do with your mana. You're not drawing anything that's expensive because the entire deck's really cheap. So I mean, if you don't have a Shaper's Sanctuary, you can just start, you know, churning through your deck and grabbing your Elvish Clancallers, which are making, you know, all of your other things just bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where, you know, they concede or die, one or the other. And that's kind of the plan, right? Still Leaf Champion, kind of the real big payoff here, right? To play Elves, you get that turn 1 Land of War Elf into a turn 2 Still Leaf Champion. You know, that's going to be absolutely terrific. If you're on the play, then you get to, you know, save your Kuljar Seed Sculptor. Kuljar? I don't know. Anyway, you get to get your Kuljar Seed Sculptor, you know, on turn 3 to save the Line of War, things like that. But Still Leaf Champion, just not being able to be blocked by Glint-Sleeve Siphoner, not being able to be blocked by something like, oh goodness, Champion of Wits, or you know, those creatures that people want to put in front of you so often. Even Thopters and things like that just can't get in front of Still Leaf Champion. So it's 5 damage just coming at them. They have to remove it, have to bounce it, have to do something with it. It's coming. It puts them on a very, very short clock. And then, of course, you know, we've got some Rishkars. Rishkar's great. He is an elf, legendary creature, enters the battlefield, put a +1/1 counter on up to target creatures, you know, that sort of thing. But creatures you control with +1/1 counters can now tap for 1 green mana. Now, that gives us a little bit of synergy over here with our Seed Sculptor. Plant a seed, and then later it can become a whole, you know, mana land. Jokes. Marwyn the Nurturer, another payoff to be running Elves. You know, we get Marwyn down, we have a bunch of land, we have the, you know, the means to draw a bunch of cards with our, you know, Vanquisher's Banners and, you know, our draw engine that I spoke about earlier. Start just playing those cards, you get more mana to be able to do more things, to play more cards, to just churn through your deck, flooding the board. It's kind of what Elves do. They keep coming out of the woodwork and just, you know, doing bad things. Now, I did kind of skip over the fact that we're running 3 main board Blossoming Defense here. Blossoming Defense, just one of those staple cards in mono green if, you know, you're looking to protect yourself. So I mean, against some decks, you know, there'll be situations where we'll actually take the Blossoming Defenses in just to bring in some more you know, draw or something like that. But I do like the fact that with Shaper's Sanctuary, we can actually let them target our creature. Now that they've targeted our creature, we'll get a trigger on the Shaper's Sanctuary. We can actually draw a card off that Shaper's Sanctuary trigger and then decide to Blossoming Defense or not. So I mean, we can get a little bit of extra information, go ahead and draw that card, and then decide whether or not we want to give our creature hexproof. So you know, pretty good synergy there. So there's a lot of little small synergies with the deck. Now, moving on into the sideboard a little bit deeper, we have other ways to protect ourselves other than just, drawing more cards with Shaper Sanctuary and protecting with Blossoming Defense. We can protect against absolute board wipes, Cleansing Nova or something like a, Fumigate. We can protect against those with Heroic Intervention, but for the most part, like, we don't have a way to stop something like, Settle the Wreckage. However, Settle the Wreckage may just give us a lot more mana, which allows us to just continue to go ham, especially if we've got Life Corruptor's Bestiary down, Vanquisher's Banners, things like that. So, we're not as worried about Settle the Wreckage. This deck will more than likely just try to use Settle the Wreckage to ramp further. Now, Crushing Canopy here, I am a fan of Crushing Canopy. Don't get me wrong, but lately I've come off of it just for the plummets, just being the mana cheaper. It really is really good. But Crushing Canopy is still a great card. It pulls double duty in the deck. No arguments there to having Crushing Canopy, but Naturalize, absolutely terrific card as well. So, we got a little bit of artifact hate, a little bit of enchantment hate, a little bit of Lyra hate. There's a lot of dragons right now. Being able to kill those Glory Bringers, being able to kill those Nicol Boluses, things like that, gonna be handy. And then, of course, I already talked about the card draw here in Life Corruptor's Bestiary and the Vanquisher's Banner, and then a couple Galtas to finish off the sideboard. So, that's the deck. Should be pretty good, right? What do you guys think? Whoa. Whoa, buddy. He's running up and down the hall, running from his mom. What? What is going on? No. No. Don't do any of that. Alright, did that fix chat? That should have fixed chat. Alright, there we go. I don't know why that was there. Okay, you guys ready for some gameplay? Pete says, hello everyone. Or, how's everyone doing tonight? Sorry, Pete says, how's everyone doing tonight? Thomas says, hello all. Oh, it's madness. Madness, just in time, buddy. We're about to let it rip with your deck, bud. Here we go. Gonna get into the greatness. Alright. No turn one Leno. Man, that's rough. That is rough. I mean, we can Adventurous Impulse, see if we can find a 2-drop and just come on the curve that way. I mean, it's not horrible. I like having lands, but we could probably mulligan. Let's see this bad boy in action. Well, I'm interested in mulliganing, but because we have a 22 land deck, I think this is probably the most lands we're going to see in a hand. Not that I would want more, but I think we got action here. This into maybe a 2-drop. Maybe we can get a little action out of it. We'll see. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, should have went in combat first. My bad. Hey, there's a 2-drop. I mean, it's not exactly what I'm wanting to do on turn 2, but it'll work. There's a Lano. Alright, so yeah, we just throw our clan collar down. Like, what's the argument for not playing Still Leaf Champion next turn? I mean, we've got Rishkar, Pima Renegade, we've got Still Leaf Champion, and we've got Marwyn the Nurturer. So if we play Marwyn, the following turn we can play Rishkar. I mean, I guess we would need to be ramping towards something to be wanting to go the Marwyn route, which is what the opponent's doing. He's ramping towards something. I think we just want to try to end this quickly, right? I think so. No, he's got 2 mana of any color available. Well. So yeah, I think we just still leave here. Get in for one. I mean, the clock doesn't change as long as he's under 24 life. I mean, if we can get a couple extra chips in, though, we might be able to change the clock a little bit. If we can make up like an extra 4 damage somewhere, get him down to 18, then he only needs 3 hits from the Still Leaf Champion, and that seems like it's pretty good. Right, like if I was going to take the route of ramping into the clan collars, I might go the Morrowind route, but I think I can safely go the Morrowind route starting this turn, and then you know, follow that up with a Rishkar. But then again, I could actually just, if we get in for an attack this turn, looks like we're probably going to. If we get in for an attack this turn, and I actually swing with the clan collar and play Rishkar, we're changing the clock yet again. Wow. Now I really want to do the Morrowind thing, because that's going to be a big pump too. I mean, we've got so much damage coming here, though. I mean, are we looking at running into a board wipe? I think I want to leave this Land of War. Like, I don't want to tap it. Like, I don't want to tap out of Blossoming Defense right now. I think that that's how we lose this game, is to tap down below Blossoming Defense. And we're still doing 7 per turn. And then if we do get to start swinging with something else, I mean, we can also change the clock here if he goes to remove something. Yeah, I think we just stick to the plan of next turn trying to flood the board. Is this a Fumigate? Beneath the Sands. Wow, what are you getting, opponent? I mean, that's a cool card. I like Beneath the Sands. It's a cool ramp card. Instant speed cycling. I actually like the Monitor better because when you cycle it, you get to go get a land. It's 4 mana cycling, but you know. Tandu, what's up? Am I playing in a competitive league? No, we're not. We're just testing this deck out for Subscriber Sunday. Yeah, like just holding up the Blossoming Defense here seems like it's better than playing the Land of War. Okay, I mean, he gets a Land of War elf that can't block. I mean, he's ramping into something here. So this would be good. Do we put it on her and make her even larger? We get, like, this spell was free as of right now off of casting her. We make her even bigger. What's the count? 1, 2, 3. We need, yeah, let's do it here. And then Land of War will be free to cast. Kind of jumping into a little much here if I do this, though, right? I mean, right now we get to keep open Blossoming Defense. And this route still gets the Still Leaf Champion a little bit larger. he needs to either wipe the board or have a lot of blockers here. Ooh, what is this? Settle the wreckage. Sure. That's not bad for us. I mean, now we're just going to keep coming in. I mean, we've got a 6/6 Marwin the Nurturer. This Fumigate probably is refloating some mana. Hour of Promise. Okay, not Fumigate. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Land off the top. I'm just going to go to combat, and we're going to swing with everything except for one collar. And when we're presenting lethal, he has to block. So, I mean, yeah, he's definitely going to be blocking here. Okay, he wants to kill one of these. That's fine. I mean, he's at 3 now. We've got plenty of cards to like restart if we need to. So if he does wipe the board here, then that's fine. We still have one clan collar left we can go get. Not enough untapped green sources for the elf. What? Yeah, we needed a land there. Like one extra land meant we would have been able to keep up Blossoming Defense, and then the one Blossoming Defense would have meant we wouldn't get blown out there. Okay, he's just casting Mine, drawing a couple cards. I mean, his last card in hand was Fatal Push, so he drew a card this turn, cast Mine, he has, 2 additional cards. Looks like he played a land, and what do we got here? Regal Caracal. Well, that's a thing. That is a thing. Well, I mean... how do we get in now? We just got to keep bashing. So, if I go land, like if I just take this turn off of getting a clan collar and just add a lot more to the board, yeah, I think that's what we do. Yeah, let's play Rishkar. And then we get to play, we basically get to play everything here. This will become a 4/4, so it'll become a 5. That. and Rishkar. Like 5 power seems like it's going to be really good here. For the simple fact that, you know, that's going to be able to block multiple of his things, or just create bad matchups here, or bad pairings rather, or blocks. Let's see what happens. So I don't want to swing with my lords, but I do want to start clearing some stuff out. Giving him the opportunity to gain some life is not exactly what I'm all about, but I'm going to set up the opportunity for him to triple block, and then me Blossoming Defense blowout here. Won't be a huge blowout, but it'll be something at least. More cats. And an elf. Should have come on with the other lifelink. There we go. So I want to move the Llanowar to the end. Actually, see, if we go, we're going to have 6 points of damage. So if we go 3, 4, 5, 6, this cat survives. But if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 point on the last cat, because the Regal Caracal will die, so will the last cat. So we'll actually kill more things if we do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now we'll order damage, and all 3 of the cats will die. That works out pretty good for us. I mean, we basically just used our Blossoming Defense and turned, you know, his... I don't know, I think that's the best block there. Approach! Oh goodness. This is actually better than just getting another collar. I mean, it's 5 mana instead of 6. We technically have a bunch of mana. We do have to be in a hurry now. So let's do it. Oh no! Settle? Scaring me, opponent. Block the 6. Settle would that'd be very scary. But hey, he's got 0 cards in it, so I mean. Right, I know. Like, I just seen him tapping and I didn't even think about looking up for the hand. Yeah, I mean, he kills a collar. I'm okay with that. He's at 2. I mean, he's trying to dig for that approach. He might be a little late. Even had a -7 Lily to kill their board. What? I never -7 Lily. It's just normally not necessary. But, you know, whatever. He had black mana. You think he's going to be I mean, he had Fatal Push. Let's do this. Banner is going to be great. Sanctuary is going to be great. Blossoming Defense wasn't as impressive as I wanted it to be. I mean, it was a combat trick, which is cool. You know, combat tricks are cool. I expect him to have something like Fumigate, something along those lines. Naturalize might be handy. Enchantment Hate might be handy. Let's go with the Heroic Interventions. So, if we bring these in, we need to cut one more card. Narnum Renegade? Probably cut Narnum Renegade for the Life Preppers Bestiaries too. I mean, we still stay at 28 creatures if we do that. And we're just drawing all day. Just draw, draw, draw. Sure. Let's run it like that. What's up, Barry? How you doing, sir? So far so good. His deck's running pretty smooth here. We're not getting those, you know, killer turn 1 hands, but we're turn 1 Land of War hands. But we're, I mean, turn 2 Thorn Lieutenant. I mean, this is 5 lands. I can't keep 5 lands. Let's, sure. I mean, that's not horrible, right? We start crashing in for, you know, for 2 every turn. Sure. Just play the Seed Sculptor, make this a little bit bigger, just keep crashing. It's better than the other weird 2-drop. I don't even know what the other weird 2-drop is. Should have kept the first, yeah, right, should have kept the first hand. I mean, it's a 22 land hand. What were the chances, right? But we're drawing well here. I mean, Rishkar's not bad. You know, making any of these dudes just slightly larger means we only need 1 pump. So, I mean, 2 power is better than 1 power when it comes to, you know, Ronus hands. Because you just need 3 mana to start attacking with both. And at that point, you're going ham. I'm just going to get Ronus out now, because next turn we can go Shaper's Sanctuary and pump with Ronus and swing for a bazillion. Right? Swing for a million. Okay, it's almost a million. It's only 9, but still. No, it's 10. It's a million. Kujar, never saw that card, right? Kujar, Seed Sculptor. Kujar, Seed Sculptor. Gotta fix the old stash there, right? The horns are starting to lean forward. There we go. Mimic pumps all the elf you play after, and it's easy to leave up Blossoming Defense in an elf deck. It is it's easy to even hide Blossoming Defense in an elf deck. Technically, I could have played Rishkar that turn, put a +1/1 counter on this guy or whatever, used it to play the Shaper's Sanctuary. Like, there was a couple things I could have done right there. But I'm not actually prioritizing the Shaper's Sanctuary that much. It's going to be a good card, don't get me wrong, but not over-prioritizing. Ooh, almost messed up. That ain't what I wanted to do this turn. Let's go ahead and Shapers. Okay, so whatever he wants to do, he needs to do now. Okay, so that lets us know what we need to be doing for the rest of the turn, which changes our plan. We're now going into the Rishkar plan. So we'll Rishkar here and on Rishkar. I mean, we don't get in for as much damage this turn, but I mean, it's nowhere near 9. We're not swinging for a million anymore. Sad. Sad face. You're right, Tandu. Mimic's a good card. It really is. He approaches. So we go Sacrifice Hashep Oasis. Swing for, you know, little over half his life total. Put the pressure on him. Say, hey, can you do it again this turn? Do you have the other one right now? You need to be holding that other card there, sir. Or way to deal with what's on the board. Elvish Claymcaller dies to everything. It does. It does. That card would have been much better suited as a 1/2. I think as a 1/2 it would have been a much more playable card. I think Elves would have had a much better place in the format if that one card had been a 1/2. So Elvish Claymcaller, I definitely think that a 1/2 would have been pretty good there. What? I mean, so he stops 5 damage here. Can we Claymcaller? I think we just pump. Get into combat. We're presenting a Blossoming Defense as being, no, not being lethal if he blocks Ronas. Yeah. So he's at 3. He's got a little bit of time. If I'd have pumped last time instead of sacking the Hashep Oasis, we'd have been able to Claymcaller this turn and pump. And that's game. Alright. We go to game 3. How do we beat? We just gotta stay fast, right? Again, he's gonna have some targeted removal. I mean, those fatal pushes are good. I guess we have to keep it in, right? We just have to keep the draw in and hope that we can outdraw him. Yeah, a second Claymcaller, like having a second copy of any card in your deck, even if you're running 4 of them, is a lot to ask. Even though we're only running like 2 Morrowinds and we have both of them in our opening hand, we are going to keep this, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. Watch, you'll have perfect disruption for this. Swamp, fatal push, go. We'll get stuck, never draw a 3rd land. All down. That's the way Magic works, right? Galta could race him, you're right, Galta could race him, but Galta has a lot of effort to put in. Well, there it is. Okay, turn 2, still leave champion. Can we do this? 4 turns, opponent. 4 turns. 5 turns, opponent. 5 turns. No, it's still 4 turns because we Claymcaller and that does the buff we need. I'm going to play the Shapers here. It doesn't... Well, it does change the clock, doesn't it? If we attack every turn with this Land Whirl. I think he's going to have to start trying to remove something, so just getting this down right now may pay off in the end. Well, here we go. Next turn, just Claymcaller again. Hour of Promise. I mean, he doesn't have any deserts, so he can't get to the 3 or more deserts. So, and he didn't even get deserts there. Ooh, see, this gets sweet. I mean, this is a lot of damage, which means we get to play around Settle next turn by just swinging with the Steel Leaf Champion. Like, if he has a board wipe here, we're in a little bit of trouble. I mean, that's not great for us. We can start coming down with the Morrowind. Did any of you guys play Skyrim? Morrowind? Oh, there's the Fumigate. I knew it was coming. I mean, we can do like stupid stuff, like play another one, have it trigger her. We keep her, keep the first one. Is this an approach? Like, I like the idea of a ton of draw in Elves because, like, that's one of the things you really need to do with Elves is just kind of flood the board, which means you got to spend a lot of cards out of your hand. So drawing a lot more cards is also very necessary. Yeah, opponent's got a really good hand here, and now that he's got a desert, he could just go get 2 more deserts, make some zombies. Yeah, he gets 2 more deserts in this one. So the first one didn't really matter. Now we're getting a couple more land, which I don't see a reason to play this right now. Well, is this an approach? Looks like he stalled us out long enough, and he's going to get his approach off here. All right. Don't think we can do much here, and we're not in any position to force him to target anything, so I'm not seeing how we beat this. I mean, never give up, never surrender, right? We'll wait for him to cast another, but yeah, he had a good hand. I mean, I could have held a little bit more back, but having the so he had double approach. He had double approach in his hand. Ouch. Ouch. Well, I mean, overall, I do like the deck. Adventurer's Impulse may be better than Shaper's Sanctuary, but against, I think, maybe like the blue-black decks and things like that, I think Shaper's is going to be really good. Against something with, board wipes and stuff, maybe I should have just left the Adventurer's Impulse in instead of Shaper's. At least that would have, given me a couple extra creatures there. We would have guaranteed some triggers off of it, because they can play around Shapers a little bit, especially if they've got a little bit of a board stake. So one of the things that makes Shapers really good, oh, you guys can't see that, I'm sorry. One of the things that makes Shapers really, really good is when you can push enough of a threat to, make them actually have to target your stuff. So either way, I like this version of Elves, and we'll probably use this as kind of a starting point when we get ready to play Elves. Might do that later this week. We'll see what happens. Either way, Madness, it was a really cool deck, man. Should have sided in Galta, and a turn 2 Morrowind. Could have ended this by now. You're right, man. Galta would have definitely done some work there. So sorry about that. Maybe I sideboarded wrong on your deck, but yeah. What would we have taken out for the Galtas? Just not run Shapers? Like, I think running Shapers was the big mistake. Like, I shouldn't have run Shapers there. Either way, we are moving on to the Dragons deck. Man, I've got... Anyway, Dragons. Man, Dragon Egg. You guys remember Dragon Egg? Right? This thing's been printed half a dozen times. Anyway, when Dragon Egg dies, you get to create a 2/2 red dragon creature token with fire breathing. For those of you that don't know what fire breathing is, pay 1 red mana and give it +1/+0. Now, there's a couple different versions of fire breathing. There's some that you pay 2 mana and you get +2/+0. But normally the vanilla or the the basic price for fire breathing is 1 red mana for +1 to the power. So Lincoln's trying to bust my door down. Anyway, so let's take a look at I guess some of the creatures to help us get to our dragons before we get into the dragons, or do you guys want to just jump straight into the dragons, right? Dragons? Okay. I mean everyone wants to just see dragons, right? Let's get that preview panel back up here. Bam! Alright. Palladia Mors. Palladia Mors, the Ruiner, Nicol Bolas's sister. Man. She's good. She's good. She was actually the first card that I was sideboarding out when we played Devs Dragons. I'm not as big a fan of her. Yeah, she's cool. She's going to hit for 6. I just think that there's more things that we could be doing with dragons. Yeah, there's more you could be doing with dragons, right? More glory bringers, like, she would probably just be much better suited just being, 2 more copies of glory bringer. The big one that I was happy about when I seen this list is the fact that we've got 3 copies of the Dragon Queen here. This card just takes over the game, just absolutely out of control. When you're playing, this is a dragon and it's an egg. Okay, I just want you guys to remember that. If you have the queen down, you play the dragon egg, you get a 5/5 dragon, then later this will hatch into a dragon. So let me read the queen for you here. For those of you that don't know, whenever a non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. And then she's got fire breathing, but it is so much better than that. Okay, so remember when I was talking about earlier, the vanilla price for fire breathing is 1 red mana to get a +1 to the power until the end of turn. Well, when you look at her fire breathing, it does cost more. It is 2 red, or 1 red and 1 colorless, but all dragons you control get +1/+0. So as long as you control at least more than 2 dragons, you're automatically getting this at a cheaper rate. Now, if you're just paying, to give 2 dragons +1/+0, you're paying the vanilla rate, 2 mana +2 to your power. Anything after that, you're netting. You're creating extra. You're getting extra value out of this. So 3 dragons or more, and we're winning, right? Maybe we got 3 dragons or more, we're probably winning anyway. Let's just face it. For the Horde, you're funny, man. Looks like a new headset. New headset? Really? No, it's still the same one with the black tape. It works better here. It's got cleaner audio, man. Like I've tried the Xbox headset. I've tried the Apple earbuds. They're horrible, by the way. They don't even make it through testing. Like I tried playing around with the gains and stuff like that, and just I can't play those. This old Logitech, man, my earpiece doesn't set right, but man, fits my head right. Sounds decent to you guys. I think we're alright. Anyway, let's talk about the rest of the dragons here. I mean, since we've got this awesome Lathless here. I love Lathless Dragon Queen. We've got Glory Bringers and we've got Demanding Dragon. Personally, I like Demanding Dragon, but I don't think that it is quite as good as Glory Bringer. Like, we're putting the, as Deb would say, agency in our, we're giving the opponent more agency here. But yeah, we're giving them the choice. Okay, do you want to take 5 damage or you want to lose your creature? Okay, you only have, that creature, it's a Land War Elf, okay, you sack it. Now, I really wanted you to take 5 damage. I wasn't scared of a Land War Elf, after turn 5. I mean, you probably got plenty of mana anyway. So, they're always going to choose what suits them best. Most of the time, losing a creature or taking 5 is not going to suit them really great, but, yeah. SideboardMTG will be sideboarding Elves out after game 1. Probably. Running Elves and Sweltering Suns has got me a little I'm a little on the fence about that. Like, I don't think that, you know, we should be trying to ramp into something, but yet we're running a card that we're probably going to try to reset the board around turn 3 anyway. Most of the time, it's probably just going to, you know, come off better in some other cards. But yeah, you're probably right, Jan. You're probably Jack. All right. Maybe low converted mana cost removal to slow the opponent down would be better than the Elves with the lack of green sources. You're probably right. I mean, let's move this. You guys are all talking about, you know, green sources here. We've got you know, 4 sheltering thickets. Sheltered thickets. We've got 4 rootbound crags, and then 3 forest, and that's it. So not a ton of Land of War Elves mana there. And when we start talking about, like, what are we going to do with this Land of War Elves mana, right? Like, let's say that we had a turn 1 Land of War Elf, which means the only land that we could possibly pull to play that turn 1 Land of War Elf is going to be a forest, okay? So you're not going to bring Rootbound Crag in untapped on turn 1. You're not going to bring Sheltered Thicket untapped on turn 2. If you bring that in, that means that one of your lands was a forest, which means at best on turn 3, or turn 2, the only thing you can do is produce 1 red mana and 2 green mana. So the best play in the entire deck for Land of War Elves as of right now would be turn 2 Dragon Egg or turn 2 Dragon's Horde. Now granted, either of those isn't horrible, but you're not going to turn to a Sarkhan, which means, you know, you're not going to be able to turn 3 into one of your really big dudes. So it's just not going to happen. But, you know, it is actually a lot more feasible to get down a land on, right, only 3 turn 1 untapped green. So exactly. I mean, that's what chat's kind of going on about right now, that Land of War Elves probably doesn't fit in this deck. And they're probably right. I mean, this could probably be better suited with a Bomat Courier and drop green altogether from the deck. Like, the deck's probably actually a lot better suited as a mono white deck or a mono red deck or something like that. I mean, Platia is good, but you could probably just cut the converted mana cost off the top and just throw a couple more Glory Bringers, or even 1 Glory Bringer, 1 Demanding Dragon, run 3 and 3. This way, you know, you're not getting into those Ixalan bindings blowouts as much. Both are decent cards, but I don't think Demanding Dragon's quite a Glory Bringer. So until the Glory Bringer rotates out, I would probably just rather run that. I mean, you've got some other really cool cards here that I think fit really well, but I think with the Dragons that, you know, you're probably just going to want to not run the Elves, just run something, you know, Magma Sprays, just more early removal, and just kind of cut the green altogether. And then, of course, you know, cut the white because, you know, there's no real point in playing Platia here. So, like, I don't know, that's just my call on turn 1 Mox land Sarkhan, right? That works. This should have been a mono red. Yeah, I think that's the consensus, that Platia is cool, and to break your mana base, like to weaken the deck. Like when I played Zombies, you know, we got a couple of choice examples of exactly how adding a separate or a second color into the deck could weaken your early plays, and that's why I think like mono red dragons is probably like the strongest or something like that. I played Deb's Dragons. His was really good. There's a Grixis Dragons deck floating around, and you know that's got a lot of other things going on in it. But honestly, you could probably even get away with just cutting Land of War Elves in this deck. Probably cutting maybe, you know, an extra 3 drops somewhere, maybe even Sweltering Suns, putting it in the sideboard, and just throwing in some Goblin Chain Whirlers. Goblin Chain Whirler is just really good right now. So, like, there's a couple options there. But overall, you know, we've got a ton of dragons. Richard's Blade Weeding here. I love this card. You either pay 4 for 4/4, or you pay 7 for 2 4/4s, right? Just value. And then, of course, Sarkhan's Unsealing. I almost held on to this deck because we've got a bunch of people putting up Sarkhan's Unsealing decks. We've got Rush that's posted up a Sarkhan's Unsealing deck, and then there's a I want to say Dragon Lord has got a Sarkhan's Unsealing deck on here, and then who else? I mean, there was another one I seen. But a lot of you guys are posting Sarkhan's Unsealing, and I want to play those. Like, we're definitely going to have to throw, you know, like a theme day or something like that out. And next week we've got Meal coming up, and then the week after that we're going to do Liliana's Contract. Yeah, it's going to kind of fall into the next month, but we'll do Liliana's Contract is actually, or maybe we should give you guys an extra week on Meal. Nah, everybody's already starting to post their Meal decks, and I don't want them to fall too far back. So we're going to do Meal this coming week, and then we've got Liliana's Contract coming up next week, or the week after that. So got some pretty cool decks coming up as far as our subscriber Sundays go. So it gives you guys a chance to get back to brewing. You know, let the format kind of settle in. You know, think about what it is you want to play, and you know, we'll get to it. So let's take a look at what he's got in the sideboard here. I mean, yeah, he's got a cast out that I never really mentioned. The Abrades I never really mentioned in the main board, but they're just great removal. I mean, if you don't have black, you do have white. Cast out's just a really good piece of removal. And then, of course, you know, our Abrade gives you some options there, being able to deal with, you know, Godfather's Gifts and other, you know, choice artifacts like, you know, the Gear Hulks and such. Or just burning something for 3 damage is not bad either. So now in the sideboard here we've got Magma Sprays, Blossoming Defense, which we've seen Blossoming Defense in the last game. It's great. Heroic Intervention, we know that's great. You know, it's good against, you know, fumigates and things if you're holding it when they fumigate. Naturalize here, meatloaf. Naturalize, great card. We've got a couple extra copies of it. And since we do plan to just get, you know, further into the late game, Banefire here is great against those control decks. Probably one of the best reasons to actually be in white right now is Ixalan's Binding. If you can get a Nicol Bolas or something on the Ixalan's Binding, you're probably going to be doing all right. Most of those decks only have like 1 commit to memory to even be able to bounce that Binding. So I mean, but if they can't bounce the Binding, then you are going to be in a little bit of trouble getting like boluses back and things. But you can normally trap like quite a few cards in their hands and stuff like that. So Silhouette here, just another really good piece of removal. Probably could have just put some, like, I still think that, you know, that we should be running Chandra's Defeat in most red decks. I think that there's still enough red decks floating around that Chandra's Defeat warrants play. So either way, that's the Dragons deck. Chat had a lot of feedback there for you. So if you like the feedback, then there you go. Yeah, this one's by Mihtzir. Mihtzir, oh, he's kind of new to our community. I remember when he joined here just a few weeks back. So Mihtzir, welcome, and hope you aren't too upset with our feedback. We just don't like Land War Elves in this deck, man. I think we're just kind of stuck on the Land War is just not right here. I mean, we don't have anything really early in the deck anyway, so I mean, just having the early land seems good. Like getting rid of the Shelter Thicket seems like it's the right play on turn 2, and then Dragon's Horde on 3 into a Blade Wing on 4 doesn't seem bad. I mean, we could even play like Demanding Dragon or something on 4, but if the opponent does have anything fast, we're really going to be needing that. Right? If I plan to cycle this on 2, we'll top deck Land War. Watch. Because I'm planning to cycle it. Alright, I'm going to keep. Like, it's our turn 2 draw. So we're just playing turn 2, 2 mana draw spell. And then we're going to play turn 3 Dragon Horde, turn 4 Blade Wing. So, like, that's the plan anyway. That's our curve. Fine. It still destroys the curve. Because we're still just going to go turn 2 Land War Elf. We're going to draw a card, right? Now we're going to go turn 2 Land War Elf. We're still going to turn 3 Dragon's Horde. 4, 5, 6. We can wait a turn, get 2 dragons, come in even 1 turn later, get 2 dragons. Yeah. Sure. Goodness gracious. I mean, we could take the turn off next turn. Oh, well, not next turn. Turn after, like turn 4. We take turn 4 off and cycle, and then turn 5 we can kick it. I mean, it's still got to resolve. Okay, so I either Blade Wing right now and get it countered, I swing a Dragon Sword, or Dragon's Egg. Dragon's Egg doesn't seem great. It's just Horde. I think we're going to need to draw as many cards as possible. Sweet. I mean, I'll swing. I mean, if he wants to use, like, Seal Away or something like that here on my line of world, I am down for that. Let it go. Yeah, Madness, your Elves deck's pretty nice, man. Looks like Chris likes it, too. What? What's going on with the stream? Stream health. Check resolution. What? So, what do we get? Countered here? I mean, I could just play Dragon Egg. I mean, it's a dragon. We could, like, abrade it. Let's get in there for one, right? Come on, let's do it. I'm thinking he's like the Esper deck or something like that, and he's got a lot of targeted removal. Right now, we haven't really given him anything to target. I am worried that he's going to be like, bam, the Scarab God. What? If he does that, we're just going to go bam, 7 mana, Blade Wing. What? Contempt? Man. You cool and all, but I can't have you gaining life and keeping me from getting my little dragon. I'm going to have my little dragon. Dragon! Search for his king. He's keeping up that disallow though, isn't he? Lincoln's in there screaming, oh no, oh no, oh no. Let's go ahead and draw a card. We're going to remove a gold counter, draw a card. Looking for an untapped land here. That's not bad. I've already played my land for the turn. Uh-oh. Punt. Thought I hadn't played a land. Alright, so we're just going to activate his ability, get in for 3, and pass. I mean, yeah, he's getting to use, search for Escantha, but we are pushing pressure. We got our little flyer getting in there. I mean, he's not going to just, like, jump in front of this with a, with something like a, a gear hold. So, what was that? Okay. I really, really want to get this down. 100%. Doing it. Doing it. It's a cast trigger, guys. So even if he counters, after this, we're doing work. So he has to answer this right now. Disallow. Yeah, you can't allow that to stick around. Let's go ahead and draw another card. Clifftop Retreat. I could cycle the Sweltering Suns if I don't swing with the Land World. But right now I'm interested in just more damage. Should be X. X can only be paid with red mana. Yeah, I used to run the budget decks in competitive leagues, but that with the power of the cards that are in competitive leagues, like you can usually just know that in a competitive league you're going to run into red black aggro, you're going to run into those decks, and I mean, but then again we're running into them here, so but your matchup's usually not that great. I think we go for it with the kicker. I mean, he has to kind of like essence scatter this or something. Wow. He let it happen. He let that happen. I'm gonna draw a card. I hear Kung Fu Panda in there. Lincoln loves some Kung Fu Panda. Don't know why. One minute he's screaming, next minute he's laughing. Kids. If you guys are parents, you know exactly what I mean. Okay, well, I probably could have just swung with this and make him answer the dragon. Like, at this point, he just has to answer our little baby dragon. Like, next turn, we just turn everything sideways and say, hey, answer our baby dragon. If you can't answer the baby dragon, you die. Baby dragon attack. Glimmer for the opponent. What are you guys talking about? We'll see play. I've got to pull up chat. See what you guys are talking about. Albatross is going to get in on some arena, huh? You guys want to see me play some arena? Like, do you guys want arena content? I mean, it's just standard now. It's like you either play it here or you play it on arena. Recycle spetted pools. Like, how does he answer this? Settle the wreckage? I mean, I don't see the white sources to settle here. Okay. So you block Land of War Elf. We lost our Land of War Elf guys. He has to kill the fire-breathing dragon, right? So he Verosco's Contempts. He goes to 9. He kills Blade Wing. We'll move to blocks, but I don't think the opponent... I think the opponent is vastly underestimating the power of fire breathing here. Oh, I've got to do this. Okay, so there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's hold control. counting it up, opponent? The opponent should be counting right now. We should be entering scoop phase about right. Really, opponent? You're taking a billion here. A billion. A billion. Dragons, opponent. Dragons. Good job, though. You stopped that line of whirl. Alright, there we go. Moving on into scoop phase. Let's drop these elves. Let's go Banefire because he can't counter that. And then Blossoming Defense because I think he's got a lot of targeted removal. Dragon Egg's probably good, but I think I'm just going to cut like a Braid. Probably cutting a Braid all the way. And just going with like Ixalan's Binding so they can deal with like the Scarab God or something. Sweltering Suns is kind of don't want that. Heroic Intervention or Naturalize? Naturalize is a 2-mana destroy target gear hole. So I mean that's not bad either. I don't know if he's got any other like enchantments or anything like that. Like Naturalize seems like it's okay, but so does Heroic Intervention. Like just permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So I mean that doesn't seem bad. Whereas you know, giving us an extra kill spell here, Naturalize seems good. But then again, you know, a Braid could do the same thing. So maybe we just leave in a couple copies of a Braid. I think it's Naturalize. It's actually probably Heroic Intervention to be able to like fight off those Vraska's Contempts, but you know, whatever. We're gonna go with the Naturalize. Match froze, closed it, went back, and it goes right to the screen when I'm waiting for a match. Really? Can you close your YouTube out altogether? Like, can you hear me? Still waiting for the Bant Walls. We played that last week. That was yeah, that was last week. Bant Walls. It was I think it was Justin Clay's deck, and I think he's here. He might be here in chat. Arcades deck. It was an Arcades deck, and that was it was kind of fun. I think it needs more threats than just Arcades. But what colors is good for an elf deck? Green, black. The mono green deck standard right now is for better or worse mainly elves. So green or green black. Like there's a lot of good elves. It's Gucci. It's Gucci. All right, he's good to go. Our opponent. What has happened to Cool Kid here? Is our opponent on tilt, guys? Have we tilted our opponent? Like, does he just not want to play against the greatness that is the Dragons? Come on. I mean, we've got the line of world elves out now. We're much closer to greatness. Okay, we're closer. Red is okay for Grand Warlord and the removal. Okay, green, red, yeah. Jan said today he beat the green black elves with his janky nice fit dredge deck. Oh, you talking about in modern? Chris is just had to ask. Yeah, Arcades Defenders is what the Walls deck was called. You're playing your Dragons on Arena, and you play this this Dragons deck. You play the Naya Dragons version, or like you play like mono red? Because honestly, I don't think you need the Naya version. I don't think you need to be in Naya at all. Our opponent has disconnected or something. Wow. Wow. Argue Teamer Elves because of Sky Raider Patrol is maybe. I don't know about, like, do you really want to go into, like, why go into red? Why, like, when I think of Elves, I think of a deck that's, you know, 30, 35 plus creatures that are Elves. And, like, I want to run just as few non-Elves as possible, but then again, there's not enough, like, Elven payouts right now. I really like the Vanquisher's banner in Elves. I think that the other two drop-in Elves should probably be Servant of the Conduit. Even though you don't have a lot of energy or anything like that, you could get to run something like a Aethersphere Harvester out of the side and things like that. It can give you a little bit of extra energy. You can always just put a +1/+1 counter on it, and then, like, with the Rishkar, and then, like, keep making mana with it after the fact. But normally you just need a couple shots of energy with it, and then at that point, you know, you got a Clan Collar down or something, and you just turn it into a beater. So if it ain't John, you don't want none. Seems good. Seems good, Rush. Jan says, Rocker, you beat me to it. Haven't tried Favorable Bolus yet. Yeah, that's what we're playing next, guys. We're going to be playing the Favorable Winds with Bolus in it. It's got a lot of dragons in it. Might be able to... What, our opponent is back. He's returned. He's chosen to play first, and we've got a very, very bad hand here. We're going to have to mulligan this. Definitely need a ton of lands for this. Oh my goodness. I'm going to keep. It's not great. Should have just kept the first hand, but we're going to put that on the bottom as we are digging for land. How's the John doing for you? Says James. Have you played versus the Grixis deck yet? James was on Jund for a while, and now he has he's back on or he's on the Grixis plan. So, did you lose to Jund with your Grixis deck? No, probably not. No. Come on, red source off the top. I mean, all but what, 3 are red sources. So, okay, the opponent is now running 59 card deck. You wasn't even expecting to see your deck tonight, Rocker? Oh yeah, man, we're playing it. We're playing it next. It's the Pirates. Amanda says, I think SideboardMTG only lost with your Elves deck because he didn't believe in the heart of the cards. What? Aw, that, or he really peeved off RNGesus. Man, we were so close. We really were with that deck. And here we got there. I think we get around this Essence Scatter here. We squeeze this bad boy down, and he has to answer it next turn. We'll go ahead and pitch the cast out here. This is looking sweet. Getting more land. We're looking at just starting to slam Demanding Dragons. He's opting. Ooh. We have to make him keep making plays, but we have to keep hitting land drops because there's going to be a point where we're not going to have the Sarkin. We're going to need to actually hard cast some of these dragons. I want to make him answer some other dragons though. Although if he taps out right here, he's going to tap out right here. He took the chance to try to keep us off of our dragons. We're going to be playing some anyway. So now he's got to play a little catch up here. You just got owned by zombies? Well, zombies is pretty good, man. Zombies is pretty good. We'll see if we can make him spend some mana here. I mean, we're not a long way from being able to just start firing off some... Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can get in here with this demanding dragon. He's demanding. He's a dragon. Essence Scatter got us. You won't be glimmering this turn though. Go ahead. Use that Supreme Will. He does have it. No, just a cycle. Man, thought he had a Supreme Will. Can't even push or cast down that dragon. No, well, I mean, you could push it, but it's not going to be easy. Let's get in. Probably should have took the Dragon's Egg out of the deck. I know it was good in game 1, but yeah, probably should have taken this out. I mean, right now it's just giving us a little bit of fodder against something like a Doomfall or something like that. But as long as we have an attacker on the battlefield, I just don't expect him to do much with the Dragon's Egg. So. You do like tribal decks in Standard a lot. I mean, our Standard's so good at tribal, you can play tribal Jackals right now if you want. There's enough lords. You do have to actually, splash into white. You can use some metallic mimics. You can use Vanquisher's Banner. You can use Immortal Sun. These are all things that will give you, some anthems and things like that. So, I mean, you can run literally anything you really want to. Just not getting the lands I'm wanting. I mean, they're both 4/4s. I mean, if he targets either one of them here, it's not going to break my heart. They're in the air, so he can cast down that. All right. So yeah, Bladewing surviving through the cast downs. Vraska's Contempt here. He is going to have the Contempt. The opponent's going to have a turn here. We need to top deck a land. See if we can get down this Lathliss. Especially since you're not running Vivian Raid or something like that. Instead of cycling this, I had to play it, guys. I know there would be an argument to start cycling, but we were one land off of being able to make this uncounterable, so we can start burning him for 5, things like that. And then next turn we can also get another counter out of his hand by swinging or playing Lathliss. So we do have some options. Right, yeah, I mean, there's knights, there's a ton of different tribes you could play right now. I'm going for it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. The Dragon Queen herself, she'll buy a counter ball. I would almost Banefire the Dragon Egg. I really would. I would almost Banefire the Dragon Egg. I mean, it goes, hey, look, dude, can you stop this dragon? I think I do. I mean, what is he going to do? Counter my Banefire? And he can, especially since I'm going to do it really cheap here. I'm going to do it. Bam. Banefire my Dragon Egg. Now we get to draw a card. We were quite a ways from Banefiring him to dead anyway. Fine. I mean, it did make him use his last kill spell there. And now we've got the Dragon's Horde on the table. Okay, he cycles. I mean, he's looking for stuff. Draw a card. Vitrix Blade Wing would be so good. Dragon Egg. We Banefire it again. It turns it into a threat. I mean, are we really planning on burning him out? Is the question. Let's draw a card. Now we're planning on burning him out. Definitely. I mean, we're getting in for 6 right here. Unless he's got something like a Settle the Wreckage or something like that. Then we can give it hexproof yet again afterwards. So, yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can get this down. Like, the chances of actually getting it down is a little bit slim. I mean, he can counter it. There's the disallow. Just in case it's another land, I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I'm going to cycle this. So if it's another land, we'll just play it for the turn. Elves can have some explosive starts. Absolutely. I mean, turn 1 Llanowar Elf into a turn 2 Still Leaf Champion is a great clock. I mean, they've got 4 turns to answer this. I mean, like, so if they're a turn 5, turn 6 deck, and then their deck chokes at all, then yeah, they're in some trouble. Okay, so he's glimmering. He does have 1 card left in hand. We have the mana that we could simply just Banefire the Torrential Gearhulk. As of right now, though, we're looking at putting our Dragon Egg in front of the Torrential Gearhulk if he does try to attack with it. So he may be handing us everything we need. He's got a ton of land right now. The Scarab God. Well, this is happening, right? I mean, with our host of dragons. Ixalan's biting off the top. Let's do this. Blocking. I mean, he can make dudes. Oh, he can make dudes. So he makes our Laughless, and then he starts... Well, that won't work. Because everything he makes, it won't be a dragon, it'll be a zombie. Sweet. So we might be able to race. Alright, so he's looking at hitting us for 14 this turn. We're going to hit him for... Okay. So he just wants to be able to bring that back. Roscoe's continue. Sure, dude. Sure. Take 4. So if he goes like pay 4, make a Gearhulk to kill this, to keep from taking 4, which he might, then we're going to Blossoming Defense. He's going to take 6. Let's see if he does it. Let's see if he goes for his plan. I mean, he may just decide to make a dragon. He's going to make a Platia's Moors. Platia. Yeah. It's actually going to be really bad for us, isn't it? So these 2 trade. We'll never beat this, will we? We'll never beat this, will we? It's no way. Yeah, I just don't think that we can beat it. Glorybringer doesn't help us. I mean, he's just gonna... Okay, he makes Torrential Gearhawk. Torrential Gearhawk picks Vraska's Contempt. Okay. Well, we buy some time this turn. He's not swinging. We're going to draw a card. As far as he knows, we got there. Sweet. So, we gain Hexproof. What does he got? Does he got one in his hand? Does he have a counter? Negate? Disallow? Blowout. Scooping it up, fellas. I'm scooping it up. Yeah. Don't think we can beat the Scarab God. We just need to be faster. Need to away probably. I mean, Naturalize would have been good there. I think a Braid's good anywhere that Naturalize is good in that world. I don't know. No, but it's a good card after rotation. Will be. What are you guys talking about? Winding Constrictor decks still good in Standard? Yes, the Winding Constrictor decks are still good. They're not bad. They're not top tier right now, but they're not bad cards either. So, I mean, if you've been playing Winding Constrictor, then you know that the meta may continue to shift, but it's a tier 1 deck, and a lot of people are not tier 1, but it's a top tier deck anyway. Maybe 1.5. I don't think it's all the way down into the out of nowhere decks. I mean, people are still expecting Winding Constrictors. You've got a lot of really good cards in them right now. There's even a nice little Winding Constrictor deck that's running a small energy package. It's using Vine Mayors and Hydras and Carnage Tyrants with black cartouches, things like that. Green-black bottles. That I've seen that deck floating around a little bit. Some people are trying that. The Vine Mayor is really kind of set the green decks into action here in M19 Standard. What's Tier 1 in M19 Standard? Well, that's a good question. The format is fairly new. It's really hard to actually say what is and what isn't Tier 1 until after the Pro Tour. At that point, all of your meta deckers have their information that they're going to be running for the end of the format. So you're going to have those, those Pro Tour decks just kind of locked in as part of the meta. Like, that's just going to happen. But for right now, I believe the Tier 1 decks are probably Hazoret decks, either mono red or the red black decks. I actually think that the red black decks are a little bit better suited right now because of Unlicensed Disintegration is actually really, really powerful. Second, I believe that the mono green deck is really good. The mono green deck has a nice fluctuation. It's got some silver bullet cards. As Grixis, which is the other Tier 1 deck, as Grixis Bolus, I think we keep this. It's not as aggressive as I would like to have, but it's still not bad. Anyway, in the matchups where your Grixis decks start becoming more prevalent in the meta, the mono green deck can bring its Vine Mayors into the main board, which is kind of what we're seeing right now. Vine Mayors in the main, but you can see that in the mono green decks as the meta shifts back towards the red black decks. We may see the Vine Mayors to actually head into the sideboard a little bit more, but as the blue black variants, which is basically most of the Grixis decks are just blue black variants. So we'll see that the mono green decks actually shift those Vine Mayors in and out of the format based on what we currently have going on. I personally think that Vine Mayor is definitely something to stick around. Yes, the teamer control deck is no joke. That is probably the best ramp deck in Standard right now. It's definitely 1.5. I would not be surprised at all to see it snag a tournament or a top 8 or something somewhere. The deck is actually just really, really good. I'm going to try to get this Dragon's Horde down. Sweet. So now if we can get down something like a Dragon's Egg, we're going to be good. If he spends counter on a Dragon's Egg, we're okay with that as well. Alright, opting. But yeah, as far as, you know, the major decks out there, I would think that there's probably 3 just tier 1 decks. Like, these are just amazing. They're extremely hard to beat. They're extremely consistent, and that's going to be the Grixis. I'm going to say the blue-black mid-range splashed red for Bolas version, which we've seen, you know, versions of blue-black be around since Vraska's Contempt was printed. Some of them are playing the, you know, Glint Sleeve Siphoners, Champion of Wits. Some people are not playing Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Most are playing Champion of Wits, or at least some number of them. At this point, with the Vine Mayors, even Champion of Wits is actually becoming an even better card to be running right now. So, yeah, sweet. We get to draw a card here. We were 1 land away from actually just being able to play her. I'm just going to go ahead and draw this card now. Another Abroad. Probably going to use this Abrade here. I mean, he's not going to kill it, so just play all Evolving Wilds. Yeah, so, I mean, as far as 1.5 decks go, if you've got the Hazard decks, the Bolas decks, and the Vine Mayor or Ronus decks, we'll stick to the gods and the God Pharaoh. If you've got the Hazard decks and the Bolas decks, and the Ronus decks, or Steel Leaf Champion decks, actually, like that's pretty much it. That's the main strategies. If you are going to be building some jank, if you're going to be building, you know, some home brews, then just make sure that you have really good answers for those decks. Now, that's not the only thing you're going to be running into. There's a vast array of 1.5 decks that are all really, really good and could very easily sit just under the meta. Ooh, we got a chance to get her down like this. Let's just go ahead and make that happen. All right. So yeah, like, just make sure you've got really good answers for red-black or the Hazard decks. The Steel Leaf Champion decks, like Cut to Ribbons is a good answer. You know, Sweltering Suns is a good answer. Depending what colors you're in, if you're in like a Grixis deck, then your Silver Bullet against the green-black decks is actually like Yehini's Expertise. We really need something like a Languish in those green-black, or in the blue-black decks, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I can draw a card, see what I get. See if we get like Glorybringer or something like that. Ain't that a thing? Alright, let's get in for 6. So then he can kill it. Bam, got there. I mean, our opponent, like, we could probably just start spamming the F6 button and win at this point. Just clock our opponent. Rex 1, they don't. I don't believe a tribal deck has top 8 any major tournament. Yeah, there was Grixis Dragons week 1. Yep, Grixis Dragons week 1. Had Demanding Dragon, Glorybringers, and Bolas. So it's about as close to a Dragons deck as you're going to get. He's actually spending cards to deal with. He spent a cast down to kill our Dragon's Egg. Oh my goodness. So what's the plan here? Swing with Gonti, board wipe? But do you have Fumigate opponent? Do you have a Fumigate? What happens when I go boom? I take 2. What now? Fumigate. Alright. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you very much. I heard the notification. We should be getting some kind of response up there. I don't know why we're not. Why? Why alerts? Why alerts? Why aren't we working? I spent like a lot of time today trying to make my alerts work. Now I'm all heartbroken that they're not working. So we'll use our green and our white source here to cycle the shelter thicket. And then we'll just use all of the red to just beat him in the face here. And just get as much value out of this as we can. So let's go red, 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 red. So we get 5, 1. Just hold control, just maintain that priority, and then we'll just pass. So we get him for 7 here. I mean, that's a really good attack. We've got our draw engine here. I have been really impressed with Dragon's Horde, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys have played Dragon's Horde, if you've played around with the idea of a Dragon's deck, but I played the Devs deck, Dragon's deck, or Devs Dragon's deck, ever how you want to word that. I played his version of Dragons. It was really sweet. It also had the Dragon's Horde in it, and I'm telling you guys, like, if you're playing a dragon-themed deck, you know, that tribal-style deck, Dragon's Horde is where it is at. Really. Oh, opponent. He's got 2 cards in hand. We're going to take his Search for Azcanti. Then, we're going to play our Dragon Egg. Get another counter. We're going to go to pass turn. And then at the end of this turn, instead of drawing a card, going to kill the Dragon Egg again. Harsh Scrutiny. He gets to get a creature card. Got him. Yeah, got him again. Harsh Scrutiny, that was a good card to bring in against us. I like how it's got, you know, like, was it Mishra's Bauble? Is that what that is in front of him right there? Alright, so we're at the end of his turn, so we're gonna cast a Braid here. So, I mean, if he's got a spell, you know, kill spell, he's probably gonna want to use that right now. Otherwise, I'm actually gonna try to get this Sarkhan's Unsealing down. Wow, he's going to go ahead and just Vraska's Contemptus now. Is that what we've got going on here? Glimmer now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, we could hit for 8. That's pretty good. Oh my goodness. Alright, so Demanding Dragon coming in right now. This is pretty good. Yeah, I'm just actually going to go with the Demanding Dragon, and then we're gonna save as many red sources as possible here. I mean, we're looking at 10 points of damage here. I could actually even go for more than that. Could have even cast the Sarkhan's and went for 4 points of damage right there. Yeah, I blew it. I missed one. Well, I would have been tapped out here and I wouldn't have been drawing a card. So I could still put the same 4 points of damage forward here. So either way, the 4 points of damage will go through. I think I want to draw a card, though. I don't think I need to play this Sheltered Thicket. Can we bluff the Blossoming Defense? I mean, it's not going to change the clock any. Either one of these creatures would be lethal after this. So just leaving up the 1 mana when he seemed to be a little bit worried about a Blossoming Defense last time anyway. We did show it to him in game 1, so he is kind of on edge about a blossoming defense. Here, leaving up a green mana does show that we might have a blossoming defense. So I mean, he kind of needs to like Gear Hulk into a Vraska's Contempt, something here. But then again, I mean, if he deals with the Demanding Dragon, then we just pump the... Oh, wow. So, yeah, we're just going to go into combat, swing. The opponent said, good game, cool deck, man, sorry for computer issues. Anyway, the opponent's, I think, just going to let us swing in here. We had the Banefire there for the follow-up, so, yeah. Punt, 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 what a punt! Unsealing first. So I don't think that the unsealing was a punt or not a punt. As far as damage went, we could have got the exact same amount of damage in with the with just using our mana to pump. So it doesn't actually cost us a card. Spending that mana to get that down, we would have dealt 4 damage, whereas we would have still spent that mana to pump for 4 damage. So that's kind of the power of true fire breathing. Each one mountain can equal 1 point of damage, and that adds up. I don't know if you guys ever played with Koth the Hammer, but one mountain equaling 1 point of damage is a really, really good effect. So, all right, guys, we've got to turn in these cards to manatraders. There was actually too many missing cards here. So I wasn't able to get them all at once, but we're gonna jump over to manatraders. We're gonna request one of the bots come pick up their cards. We're done with them. Come pick up your cards, and then we're gonna rent the new cards. Luckily for you guys, I've got most of this ready, so it shouldn't take very long. We have to turn these in. The bot will request pickup any moment now, and then we'll pull the new cards. So there's the bot. We make sure that we've got the full trade list there so we can pull the cards. And then we just let the bot do its thing. It'll finish, and we'll wait for MTGO lag before we click submit. And then there we go. We'll wait for MTGO lag again. Make sure the bot's done talking. Bam. All right. We'll turn that in. Those cards are gone. And now I'll click rent for the new cards. And it shouldn't take very long, and we'll get the cards we need for our Izzet wins. Says it'll be just a few minutes. So here we go. I'm going to leave you guys with a lamp. I'm going to go refill the old coffee cup. Probably going to make Lincoln very mad, which will make Val very mad. But I'll be right back. Back in a second, guys. What did that do? Um, Alright guys, we're back. Apparently it sounds like my audio is coming through like a tin can. I was unaware of that. I was also unaware that if my mic is coming through my camera there, then you guys had to hear some sneezes. Sorry about those. I normally try to mute those, so very sorry about that. So I'm going to break real quick. We're going to get the audio fixed, and I'm going to come right back up. It'll take probably about 10 seconds. So give it about 10 seconds, refresh your screens, we'll be back up, we'll have the audio fixed. That should be a pretty simple fix. I didn't realize it was that bad, guys. So I'll be right back.
All right. Are we back? Does the audio sound better? Are we smoother? Are we better now? I hope so. Let me get a message out to everyone, let everyone know to refresh. Right, there we go. Better on audio? Good? Eh? My bad, guys. My bad. I didn't realize we've done this whole thing here with this just horrible audio. Yeah, that's it. When it comes to the webcam, it does that. Man, that explains the echoes. Audio is a ton better. Yeah, it was coming through the webcam. One of the secret reasons I was going to get more coffee was, we've got someone in the other room that's always watching. Lets me know, right? She'll let me know in a heartbeat. Your stuff is messed up. Get in there and fix it. So, yeah. One of the little extra things there. Hey, the game still looked good. Well, good. I'm sorry about the audio. Glad we got that fixed, though. As with many other things, I am learning how to fix a lot of stuff. A lot of things seem to go wrong when you're live streaming, right? Let's look at this awesome favorable wins deck. Let's get this preview up. Bam! Preview. Yeah, you guys are talking about it in chat already. Curious Obsession. What a card, right? Like, this card's awesome. I love this card. I mean, isn't Boggles running this card in Modern now? Like, I think the blue versions of Boggles are running this card now. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, the card is great. So, 1 blue mana, you enchant a creature, the end creature is going to get +1/+1, and when this creature deals damage, you may draw a card. No, you're not discarding a card. You don't have to discard a card, then draw a card. Just straight up put another card off the top of your library into your hand. Rush says, it's in my Boggles deck. Not sure of the Djinn. Well, I don't know if there's enough mountains to make plain, forest, swamp, waste. The blue one, right? I don't know if there's enough islands to actually make the Djinn good. The guys in the chat are now talking about they don't know if Djinn is good or not. 3 blue mana, and it's one of the petals. I call them petals or whatever. But it's one of the rares from our Dominaria set. Each color had a 3 pip spell, and this one is the blue one. It's got flying. It's a 0/4, and it gets +1/+1 for +1/+0 for each basic island. So if you have like Sulphur Falls, things like that, those are not going to count. If you've got fetid pools, those are not going to count. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, Sulphur Falls doesn't have a basic land type, but the split lands are not going to count because they're not basics. Now, one of the greatest things about this deck is you get to do a lot of really cool stuff. Warkite Marauder gets in all the time. You can drop people out of the air. Swing with a Warkite Marauder. You can make their Lyra drop to the ground. Just keep getting in the air. You can do a number of things with Warkite Marauder. When a creature an opponent controls loses all abilities, we're talking about the Scarab God no longer has the ability to come back from the graveyard at the end of turn. A lot of things just like that. Apparently, every time I lean forward, you guys can't see my face, and I lean forward a lot. I like to really get up in here. Anyway, yeah. So, just I've got to. One of these days, I'll be a professional streamer, guys. One day we'll do this. Anyway, Warkite Marauder, absolutely terrific card. Changing, flyers, dropping those to the ground, things that have death touch, just anything that's a big card. Warkite Marauder is going to be a huge threat. Even Galta has to go to a Warkite Marauder, which is why I like actually running Warkite Marauder with something like Goblin Chain Whirlers and things. Being able to swing with Warkite and then Chain Whirler on the the second main phase is absolutely terrific. You can even Chain Whirler beforehand. That creature will get the damage dealt to it, and then when it becomes a 0/1 without abilities, then it'll just die naturally anyway. So it just depends on if you want to make them counter the Chain Whirler, or you want to make them actually deal with the Warkite Marauder. You can go ahead and actually put damage on all the creatures and then be like, bam, now if you let me enter combat, you have to answer the Warkite Marauder or something like that. So depending on whether you made that play before or after combat, you'd be able to actually control your opponent's choices a little bit there. So some really cool stuff there. I mean, I really like Warkite Marauder, as you guys can tell. Siren Storm Tamer here though, counterspell on a stick, right? Counters settle the wreckage. I do like that. And then, we've got Lightning Strike, Siren Lookout, just another really good flyer. I mean, it explores when it enters the battlefield, can give us a couple more lands. Now, when we start moving on up into the converted mana cost here, we're going to start running into Nicol Bolas. I mean, Nicol Bolas enters the battlefield. It's going to be, enters the battlefield, your opponent discards a card. It has flying, of course, so favorable winds is going to work well with this. Having 5/5 flyers is absolutely terrific. Making Rekindling Phoenix just one step larger. Just the fact that Rekindling Phoenix isn't going to die to Braids and Lightning Strikes means it's going to be even harder for them to 2-for-1. So I'm actually really liking the idea of Rekindling Phoenix here as well. So, I mean, a lot of times, if decks don't have the opportunity to be able to go to, Vraska's Contempt and just kill this, they have to go, okay, well, I'm going to burn it for 2 or for 3 mana. Then when the little token comes up, then I'll just, hit that with a shock or something like that. However, here you might actually be able to get a 3-for-1 out of them where they have to go, okay, burn it, shock it, now kill the other dude. So, just giving the extra 1 power of toughness here to the Phoenix is absolutely, great. Next here, of course, moving up the curve, we've got 3 copies of Glorybringer. Looks like manatraders brought us some promo ones. That's sweet, right? Love me some promo Glorybringers. And Glyphkeeper. Another 2-for-1 card, just instant 2-for-1 card. Glyphkeeper is awesome. The fact that you can bring it back, you can embalm it, means you can use this card again after the fact. You get another 5/3 that can 2-for-1. So technically, you can spend this 1 card and might actually get 3 or 4 cards from your opponent out of it, and that's value, guys. That is value. I have always liked Glyphkeeper. I actually wonder why this card doesn't get just a little bit more play than it did. So. Other than that, though, that's the main board. We do have some Anticipates to help us draw a couple extra cards, but for the most part, that's it. When we get into the sideboard, we got a couple copies of Hope of Garpier. We've got more Braids. We've got for Braids, we've got Sorcerer Spyglass, Nimble Obstructionist. This is a pretty cool little card. I think that I would probably rather just have Disallow if I'm looking for this effect, but Nimble Obstructionist is not a bad card at all. So. I muted on you guys that time. I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize you guys heard me like clear my throat and my nose earlier. That's disgusting. I thought I was muting. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed. I'm gonna go back and delete this video because of that sound. Throat noises. Ugh. Then I make a throat noise, right? Yeah, favorable winds is definitely the core of the deck. Also, we've got a couple copies of Negate and then the Locust God. I mean, favorable wins in the Locust God. Broken. I am a little bit curious why there wasn't like any Whirler Virtuoso anywhere. I mean, making Thopters with favorable wins, you're making 2/2 Thopters, and that's powerful. I mean, just bam, Thopter. But then again, you don't really have the energy to make more than one, so I do understand that part. It's just something I would have kind of expected to see. So let's see if we can have some fun with this deck, shall we? Huh? Here we go. Let's do this. Let's do it to it. All right. I need to go ahead and call this out. Patrons, I'll be posting tomorrow. I'll be putting up a post. For those of you that are $10 patrons, go ahead and be ready tomorrow. So start getting your decks together and things like that. Right, yeah, just making 1/2/2 Thopter probably isn't that great. You're right. There's just no more. There's no other synergy, so I got you. I'm with you on that. I mean, we might be able to get into a bolus. I'll keep it. I mean, it's not horrible. We get a turn 1. We've got a little protection on turn 2. We'll see. Could be horrible. Anyway, so get your decks together. Make sure you have the versions that you want and things like that, because I'm going to start putting those videos out over the course of the next 8 days. Justin Clay, if you are still here, sir, you need to get me your deck for this month, and I would like your son's deck for this month. That's between me and Justin on why I'm going to run a copy of his son's deck. But I know you wanted to get me to run one of those, and but anyway, give me the latest version of your son's deck, so post both of those. Hopefully you patrons are hearing this. Like, do we just kill the cat, or do we just like swing one, don't worry about it, move on with our day? Like, if he plays like a Johnny's Pride Mate, then we kill the cat, right? Honestly, if anything, you'd cut bolus. Wow. Just that hard to make the black? I mean, is that what it is? Lincoln, why are you still awake, son? It's 11 o'clock. I think we'll let him gain the 1 life here. We're looking at Jin next turn. I mean, the Jin's only 2, but at least it's a blocker. Opponent cycles. We attack and pass. You would add white and go Wrath. See, Wrath and Angel seems decent. But then again, like the blue-white historic deck is decent. There's a lot of angels that fit into the blue-white historic deck, and I still think that that's like a tier 1.5 deck. Like, the deck's not bad at all. I mean, he can't swing with a Sacred Cat, right? What was that? Oh, he's going wild, guys. He's going wild. I think we just Mordecai Marauder here and swing. I mean, he can start swinging with the cat this turn, but I think we just want to be ready to kill, like maybe one of his other cats. Do we just take the 2? I think so. I think I'd take it for now. He cycles? Land. End step. think instep here. Like I want to just burn him to the face. Then he takes 5 more. He's at 10. He gains 2 back. He's at 12. He takes 5 more. He's at 7. 5 more. Gain 2. 4. It does add up that way later down the road. He'll be at 4. Then he'll be at 0. Does allow us to actually be able to sacrifice this for the turn clock. Killing this though, actually, I mean he's just going to replay it, so that's happening anyway. That changes things. That changes things. All right, so we go into this. We just run headlong into this silhouette here. Wow, just takes it. Opponent just takes it. If they throw Caracal, it's over. Not anymore. Yeah, I mean, Glorybringer off the top there just kind of sealed their fate anyway. So, a Braid's probably great in this matchup. I think a Braid's probably better than Anticipate. And then I secretly just want to play this card. We could probably bring in Aether Sphere Harvesters here as well. I think we're losing out a lot here with the Warkite Marauder because there's not a real good way to actually do damage to the creatures that the Warkite Marauder has affected. So I'm a little bit on the fence on whether I actually like Warkite Marauder or not. This is like a horrible hand. I mean, we can get out an early like Warkite or something like that, but we're going to be spending turn 3 like destroying one of their lands so that we can like get a blue land, so that we can play a Curious Obsession, which might not be bad. I mean, we can Warkite Marauder onto. We can crack one of their lands, assuming they don't just have basics on turn 3. Then use the blue or the island that we search up to actually play the Curious Obsession, then hit them to draw a card on 3. So we could have a pretty big turn 3 there. It is dependent. I'll keep the hand. The hand is very dependent upon our opponent actually playing a non-basic land, which may or may not happen. So, never mind. We're good now. So now we can just go Mountain into a Sulphur Falls and just roll with it. Yeah. Dorito fingers. What? No Dorito fingers. Okay. So we just Sulphur Fall, Spire Bluff Canal, Marauder. Marauder Topolino. It's a character from Izzet's book. That's not cool. Not cool, ladies and gentlemen. This will get out of hand. Yeah, it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. I don't know. We get to this, we'll make enough blockers that we just don't worry about it. I guess we play the Sulphur Falls. I definitely just want to play this. We'll get into combat. Sure, that thing loses all abilities. We definitely want to draw a card. Tempest Gen. Tempest Gen is going to be horrible here. Definitely looking at it, Rocker, that Tempest Gen is the... Oh, man. Well, we definitely have to get to the Locust God here. Man, we need to be able to kill this cat. This is going to get out of hand, guys. These pride mates without a way to kill something, without ways to like consistently make Tempest Gen even grow, this cat is going to keep swinging, and it's not good. We need islands. Authority. He gains more life. Wow, I can't even play creatures at this point. Yeah. So, 100% my fault. A lot of you guys are actually going to get me that I should have been playing after combat. This is a prime situation where actually playing after combat would have actually made this lose the ability of gaining an extra counter, so then I would have been able to play this and we would have only gotten one counter. We could have kept one small, or we just allowed the one to get really big so that we can chump block it. Yeah. We've already played our land for the turn, which means a braid is going to be out of the question here. This is going to grow way too large to be a braided. We can't play creatures, and making them 0/1s with +1/1 counters on them, we're not actually, we're not going to be gaining any ground here. The authority of the consuls means that creatures entering the battlefield are going to enter tapped, so even our Locust God's not going to work. He got a great hand on us. He got a really, really good hand on us. So let's say we just run it back, but I don't think that we can like not have answers in our opening hand. All right, so I mean, we've got a good hand here. I mean, this is not bad. I'm going to keep. We've got a decent curve. We're going to Storm Tamer. Did I choose to draw? Spire Bluff. Storm Tamer. We'll turn 2 Obsession on the Storm Tamer and just go to work from there. Definitely going to play the island. Obsession. Combat. Draw a card. Absolutely. Aether Hub. Okay. Another Obsession. Like, our opponent missed a land drop there. So, at this point, like, I just want to get ahead of his anything. So, I'm just going to Storm Tamer to give me an ability to counter anything that might come after him. So, like, if he's going to do this, he needs to do it now. Okay, and then I'm going to Obsession this dude. And we're just going to take this this 3/3 all the way to the house. Yep, that's the plan. 3/3 goes home. Next turn it's a 4/4. And we're just going to protect it. And that's game. Yeah, he wasn't getting anywhere with that. We were going to be drawing 4 cards per turn starting next turn. And yeah, he wasn't getting out of that. You don't want to block in a favorable wins deck. You're probably right. You really don't. You really, like, if you're in a situation where you're blocking, then you're probably not where you really want to be. Rocker, man, just toss that Djinn. Just toss it away. I don't like the Djinn. I really, really don't. Warkite Marauders, actually, I'm on the fence about Warkite Marauder. Warkite Marauder would probably fit better if you had a couple Walking Ballista in the deck. I know it's not a flyer. I know you would like to have a flyer or something like that. But Walking Ballista would be a really good card to be able to run with Warkite Marauder. Otherwise, I would actually just like to see maybe some more shocks or firebrands, just anything that could actually get some benefit from having Warkite Marauder. Like anything that will allow you to just be able to like ping something for 1 point of damage, just to be able to kill something that. And if you can get some multiple pings out of it, that would be terrific. So, like, I definitely think that Warkite Marauder is a great card, and I don't see a reason to not run it. But I definitely think that there's some other cards that you might want to throw in here. Nicol Bolas is probably not great in the deck, considering like you really don't have a black source in the deck to be able to get him. I mean, you've got your Aether Hubs, but we're doing that maybe one time. I mean, so yeah, Ballistas is probably where you want to be. So, yeah, I think that I would prefer the deck probably something like this. Just running the 4 ballistas with everything else you have is probably going to be, gravy enough. Glyph Keeper's good, and you might actually want that against like the blue black decks and things like that. But this could probably also be in the sideboard to give you a little bit more room in the main board for a couple cheaper, flyers. Anticipate's a really good card, but you could probably actually remove the Anticipate for something like, Opt. Just making it a little bit cheaper, but I don't even think you need Opt, really. Personally, maybe Dive Down. Dive Down or even Enigma Drake. I know you don't have enough things for Enigma Drake to make Enigma Drake really, really good, so probably not Enigma Drake. But just some other cheap flyer. Like I would like to see like a 2 or 3 mana flyer in here as the rest of them. Like some of the guys in chat were talking about using the raid guy that has flying. So maybe that's an option there for you. If you've attacked with a creature this turn, then he enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 on him. So, or maybe he enters the battlefield, you draw a card. I don't remember. So, like the raid flyer, yeah, the raid flyer would probably be where you want to be. So, Chart of Course would probably be better than Anticipate. I mean, drawing 2 cards is not bad, guys. I mean, a Divination for 2 mana is pretty good. So Chart of Course is not a bad card. I really do like Chart of Course, and in anything that's got a fairly aggressive start. I mean, a turn 1 Siren Stormtamer, turn 2 Chart of Course is also really good play. I also think that you could probably get away with running all 4 of your Curious Obsessions. That the card is really, really good. So overall, though, I like the Favorable Winds deck. We got to put a lot of pressure on without even seeing the Favorable Winds deck, Favorable Winds card in the deck. So yeah, that's always great. Like when you have a deck that's built around one card, but yet you don't see that one card, then you're just dead. Like I don't really like playing those kind of build around decks, but build around decks that seem to do really well even when they don't have their build around, that's where I want to be. So that's going to kind of start to wrap up the decks here. Guys, I was talking about the Patreon games coming up. If you guys are checking in on this, make sure you go over to patreon.com, check out the page there. I'm going to be putting a post up tomorrow. I'll put that up sometime in the morning, I guess. We'll be doing your Patreon decks for this month. We had a lot come out at the beginning of the month because I got behind on some streams and things. So we took a little break from Patreon games, to keep from just flooding you guys with a bunch of decks. But over the next 8 days or so, I'm probably going to start flooding you guys again with a bunch of Patreon decks because the guys have got ideas. They've brewed. We got to get these decks out there. So again, Justin Clay, we need one from you. We need one from your son. Everyone else that's $10 patrons, we need your decks for this month. I know Rush is ready and waiting. He's like, oh, I got one. So either way, Rush just posted his Patreon deck seconds ago. Awesome, awesome. I hope you have it where you want it when you posted it, because like, you know, changes, like, Rush is the world's worst, guys. I'm gonna we're gonna talk about one of my patrons here. All you guys know Rush. He will post a deck, and then he will change that deck and add cards in and out of that deck 15 times. He will. Oh my goodness. He will message me on Facebook and be like, "Yo, what do you think? Put this card in. Put this other card in." Hope you got it ready, Rush. I hope you do. Whatever you got, whatever you post, that's what I'm taking. That's what we're running with. Much love for you, Rush. I do, man. I do. You are the epitome of certain Magic players that are a big part of this community. Some people just don't, like, they can't lock in onto a deck, and that's part of you know, Magic. Like, some people want to play this, and then they want to play that, and then they want to play this, but I want to play this, but that card over there that I played in this other deck, and it was really good in that other deck, I want to play it here, and, you know, yeah. Oh, okay. All right, Rush. Seems good. It seems good. Rush has also got a red-green Sarkhan's unveiling deck that'll be pretty good. So, or Sarkhan Sealing, whatever that card is. Anyway, this card, Sarkhan's Unsealing. Yeah. Well, Rush has got a red-green one that we're working on that might actually be pretty competitive. So we're going to toy around with that idea a little bit for you guys. Guys, my name's Eric. You've been watching SideboardMTG here on YouTube Gaming. I had a lot of fun today. I hope you guys had some fun. And if you did, like, smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit that bell for notifications. I'll probably be doing most of these Patreon games as pop-up streams. So, like, I'm just going to hit the stream button. We're going to go live when I have everything ready for a Patreon deck. Like, when I got my thumbnail, all that stuff up, we'll hit the button. We'll go live. So make sure you hit that bell for notifications. Those of you that don't catch it live, though, there will be. We're worried about it crashing stream. So if Barry crashes stream here, we'll know that I have a problem with Streamlabs, and I'll have to uninstall and reinstall all the Streamlabs stuff. But thank you very much, Barry. I appreciate that very, very much, sir. As always, like, just thanks. Thank each and every one of you guys that give anything. Hey, we got our little dude. He's attacking. He attacked the stream boss. There we go. There we go. All right. And we didn't collapse. We didn't crash. We're still here, I think. Kind of. The break test. Yeah, I was going to run that, and every time I got on Arena that day, like, Arena was actually laggy. And I was like, I am not trying to run this. Yeah, Arena was actually pretty laggy during the test day. Like, it was bad. But anyway, Arena will get better. Do you, like? Let me know in the comments, guys. Do you guys want to see me do Arena content? It is literally just, you grab a deck and you grind with it. Grind with that same deck over and over, and then after grinding for a week, you add one more card to it. And then you grind with another. Like, you grind with that deck another couple weeks, and you get one more card to add to it. You know, and it's something. It's something. It should, Barry. At this point, that I cannot see that we could possibly have, you know, hardware problems. I don't think that we could be maxing out the CPU. I don't like, there couldn't be anything wrong as far as hardware goes. I think that we were having a problem with Streamlabs. I uninstalled all the Streamlabs equipment. I installed all of the scenes, everything else, and we're back into it now, though. So I mean, you know, the old, hey, just delete it, start again. You know, uninstall, reinstall, start again. You know, that stuff works, guys. Remember, you know, when troubleshooting, you unplug the power for 60 seconds, plug it back in, start there. Either way, guys, my name's Eric. You've been watching SideboardMTG YouTube Gaming. been a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. We'll see you next time here on Sideboard MTG.